been an accelerated rise. You wouldn't think that this was a team coming in from Ascension, and now, well, they're one of the contenders.
Well, they absolutely are. G2 have looked fantastic, and even within Americas, they made the whole run all the way to the grand finals without dropping a series. This is a squad that PRX definitely can't underestimate, and well, if Mimi's right, and the matchup in style is going to be different, could give the edge over to that G2 squad. The attack side to start it out here on Icebox, and a slow push up to the A site. Spike waiting outside B. They're just taking space, contesting for some of those angles. PRX yet to react.
But that's the thing, the defensive side for PRX, at least on A, it's that brawly old school style. You got the Sage, you got something, they're just looking for fights. They're looking to try and battle. And this ruse has already been sold. There was only one defender, more of a retake setup for PRX, and I'll be honest with you, I think they're going to have to retake.
Yeah, there's not much of a choice here. Even the spam's not going to yield much if they were to go for them. Instead, grouping up, the blob play, just leaving something to go through the kitchen, while the rest look for the site control. Now G2 have their post plans. Nobody sent out to mid just yet, but I see Valorant checking the flank, and perhaps that'll be late flank. Indeed, he's on his way. The timer starts ticking now for PRX to get on that spike and start the defuse. Back yellow fight is the main point of contention, still being held onto by Leaf, getting closer to block that defuse around the wall, and they're dropping bodies all over the place, only left to Divide, and he's quickly shut down. Valorant's
side of PRX, the more economy advantage we see for G2. Early days though, I'm going to see some investment back into a few pistols. Again, a stack up on the A site, expecting the pressure to be there, and well, I think Divide might have been spotted by the Giant.
Yeah, he popped up on the mini-map, nice and easy. Leafs even managed to find Jing, but at the cost of his life, still just a pistol lost, while they take control on the other side of the map and get the plant down. Again, we're going to see the post-plant setup, and the dangers of this round. Often you will see a bit of a danger if someone like Jing is still alive to put the wall down. Potentially, they can get a decent amount of ground on the defuse. We've certainly seen that in EMEA a couple of times. But
tank.
Yeah, Natonk. And on or under the wall, he's just as effective. But for PRX, they don't have that option. And so it's going to be a pretty difficult time trying to do anything in the way of damage. Something's made it up behind, though, and he might be able to drop a few weapons. A few nice shots with Trent down, and another to Jonah P. This is getting quite costly for G2. And something didn't look to be stopped anytime soon, but Valen steps in. Still.
Storm plays you've ever seen in your entire life. So you always have to watch out. And for G2 in this round, there is going to be a piece missing. Of course, it's the 3 rifles. If you lose one, you're only going to have those extra couple brought back up. Not going to overinvest. But they do have themselves Thrash, the only ultimate that will be available in this round, unless, as said, something gets a couple of extra kills.
Well, Harbor's using all his utility to clear out these angles. They've gained space, but towards A, poking and prodding the bear, trying to see where the aggression was coming through. They found out the hard way. The Outlaw was posted up. Mid-push from PRX. A very late flank attempt by Jonah P. Better find value because Valen's gone down through the spams. And now PRX gearing up for a retake. Just 2 players defending around that angle. Still the Killjoy utility on, so it's not like Jonah P is going to get a free fight onto these guys unaware.
Unless they go too far.
Yeah, it might just be out of range right about now, but the problem is there's no one else left to draw their eye. It's only Jonah P. And, well, his chances of stopping this defuse are anyway. 0.
Like, even though the utility had gone offline, when you have 5 players, they're basically just relying on, okay, can we spam someone down? Because they aren't really using much to sort of protect that player.
Well, early game plan's going to be a little bit of scouting coming in from Thrash, gone back around to the back of Yellow, so nice and easy to retrieve that.
Look how far up they are.
Yeah. Big push from PRX. They've gone through A main, starting to make that flank come through, and there could be a fight in the moment with Leaf. He's gone back to put his trap in play, and his alarm bot does cover all the angles. He's sticking around as well to try to execute. It's going to be a tough fight, though. Something and Jing hot on his tail.
And now they know. Immediately, Thrash is going to be utilized, and you can see something almost trying to bait it out, but instead it's going to be Jing caught. Can he try and defend him? No, he can't. Both players eliminated. And now the rest trying to wrap around the site. Jonah P, good position, tries to use the timing, but goes down. But again, those trades are immediate from the G2 side. The fundamentals looking strong, and Valen looking even stronger.
Shields, something's pulled out the operator. Glass cannon, it's a risk, but it just might pay off.
He could have just played Blade Storm as well, so it really does show the faith he has in that gun. But he went over to the B site early. They tried to make that adaptation. They tried to catch G2. But instead, they put early pressure in onto the A site, a mid lurk as well. from Jonah P looking to try and take space, although it does seem like they have eyes in the form of the turret and in the form of a player not too far away.
Oh, I think that was through the orb. The orb was up when that spam came in and through a wall as well.
He's broken it for his teammates so that Jonah P can take the space. Like, maybe they consider that someone could have already crossed, but you can see that on the other side, Forsaken is watching mid. He's keeping an eye on it, but he has no idea that somebody's already in kitchen.
Yeah, you're expecting that cross to be the player that was further back, breaking the turret. Now Jing taking down Icy. A good start. Spike on the floor, but there's Jonah P's flank coming into fruition. Devi tries to hold the space. Spike down, and they want to keep that control. Jing's coming in to support up top. It's a big swing and one that works out, leaving Jonah P, the flanker, to do it all. Something gets a second lease of life, and with the op, that might be all he needs, but Jonah P really starting to take a bite out of this round. 20 seconds left, though. Spike quite far away, defended by Devi, and an op on the rotation. A near impossible situation.
Maybe a little bit of an overextension from Jing. There is still a chance if he can quickly find this kill, but I think it's patient from Devi. He actually gets away. Now, there is a chance for him to plant at the back of the site. It's only going to be the sprint straight away, just trying to deny him while Devi. Great round from him. Something that G2 are doing very well is just selling false information, like breaking that turret from a player further back, a clear plan to give space.
Turret up top. Did it see him? Well, it doesn't matter. Something's got the kill anyways. It was broken from further back, and nice setup for PRX. And then they fill in the space. You know they're not likely to challenge that a second time. The push-up, though, it's going to be a little risky. Something's being surrounded on all sides. Jing's kept control over main, but they've lost the site itself. A nice kill by Mindfreak makes this a little bit more competitive. G2 down and out. Icy's the last man standing. 1v4, 5 HP on Mindfreak. That's probably the only thing we can look to as a positive. It's got some utility. That'll buy him some time. The wraparound up towards heaven. And they still think that he's pretty close. The alarm bells should be ringing, and now, well, now they've got the information on exactly where he is. Got to deal with this guy, but a double swing should put him in the ground. It's a little early for Mindfreak, but he hits the shot. Now an opportunity for him on the A side. Early aggression coming out. All pushing up, covered by Jing yet again. Always has that second man behind him, but the wall's going to concede the space. They fall back, set up for another pick. Good space taking.
The guns, it has to be a faster pace take. Yeah, Jonah P's the only one that actually has a rifle. They haven't spotted him. He's got way too far, but it's only going to be the one. And now the rest, well, an immediate res to bring another back from the fray.
Now the shorty kill as well. Something farming them up. It's Icy left alone. Again, a 1v5 this time, and not one he'll find.
Each time, 4-3, lead taken by PRX. Something, as said, if this guy's online, it's terrifying. And while Jing's going to push over the top of the poison orb.
It's a double push, yeah. They've got something as well, straight down the tube. We saw him sprinting right at the start of the round. They might be ready for the man up top, but will they wall off something? Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Sending it out. Ops blocked, rotations are in, and they're crossing that angle for free.
Also, Jing and something are like a package deal. So a lot of the time, if you've seen Jing, then you go, all right, there's probably an operator here. Let's be careful with it. The early rotation, though, from PRX is great. 3 players on this side of the map. Again, they haven't spotted any sort of cross back, and with Thrash about to clear out some of the closer angles, but that's irretrievable now. Can't be utilized again.
Yeah, they've got to get the kills to take the space if that's going to be a factor in the late round, and by then you won't really need it. Mindfreak tucked up close, orb goes up, blocking off that avenue. They're going to go back to the yellow push, and Viper's Pit, yeah, there it is. It's activated, so it's online for both squads. Curious to see if Jonah P is going to decide to activate his with a lockdown in play to push them out of the pit.
Mindfreak stay.
Take the space. No, he's out of here. And I think the pit's going to drop because of it.
Yeah, I don't think there shouldn't be enough time for him to get back into that, so that's actually huge. Removing that from play. There's a lockdown on the other side. This is just what I like to call an observer's nightmare. Ultimates being used all over the shop. We're going to get the third person as now they do what was done to them, but I do believe just with the corner, you might be able to hold on to this ultimate, and I feel like G2 are going to try and do that.
They are, but you could see the pings from PRX. They want to compete for that back angle. Haven't had any success. Jing, something, Forsaken, all falling. Icy's having a round, and now with the pit still standing, there's no chance. Surely, PRX likely to head for the hills. Maybe looking to stick around and make this a bit more costly, and eventually delete their enemy of Icy. Pick up the operator and look to save it. Being challenged on the way, though, there's no free escape with Devi falling. The op will not be carried through to the next, and this has been a costly round for the side of PRX with G2 equalizing.
Yeah, I like things are much, much tougher for the opponents.
Well, G2 are wasting no time in the A main control, sending Jonah P out to the B site. No surprise, he's on the lurk. The success, he's had a lot of success, but whenever he does, like you say, Tom, the main push is always the one that fails. Jonah P does well here, lighting Mind Freak down to 46, but fails to get the kill on the jump peak, and the rotation's on its way. They're focused on the B site. Well. PRX seem to have an idea that this is where it's coming through. You see the shift from Devi. He's closer by now in Kitchen to help out.
Jing trying to keep his teammates safe from information, but the Dizzy likely going to do that. The immediate swing. Mind Freak still gets one, and now trying to play over the top of the site. Leaf picks him out of the air. It's an angle that I feel like a lot of players would miss, but not Leaf. And now the retake's looking tough.
Yeah, it absolutely is. The numbers against them, and there it is. Thrash was online, activated now. Valen tucked down below, manages to catch Devi and something off guard. And there's no need for any further aggression from this G2 side. Forsaken's out of here to try to save, but they've already got him boxed in. Like you said, Tom, Leaf right up behind him. Whoop, the timing, he might actually have seen the barrel there. Yeah, now he's got a good idea, but
okay.
Well, that's one way to...
Been met by anything. It's a lot more passive from the side of G2, and obviously a lot of the goal is just to try and collect the orbs. I don't think they're going to be able to get the one on the B site, though, because G2 have been, again, very heavy on the B lane. A lot of the time when it's gone in the other direction, it's been lower purchases. They just have an incredibly clean B execute and post plant, and they are abusing it.
Look at how cautious G2 are being. Playing early, we saw on the A site, PRX took the control for free, like you said, and they grabbed themselves an orb. But G2 do just the same. Now pump the brakes, stand in a firing squad, a little bit of danger on the push, but it's dealt with immediately. Forsaken, able to step up for one. Second shot not gonna land, and 64 HP. He's out of here with the Sheriff. Rotation off the A site leaves Jing alone, but he is tucked down below. An uncouth position. One Leaf has to be cautious of, but he was watching it as the peak comes in. Now Jing tagged low. At least get himself a little bit of a heal and drop Leaf. Okay. This
I don't think the heal played any part in that.
No, not at all. It got him back to 76 in the end, but they're set up in a decent position.
Yeah, both Hunter's Furies online now as well. Forsaken got it from getting that extra kill. If he can be disruptive here, that would be nice. The spot comes in from something. Dizzy not going to play a part, and now there goes that Hunter's Fury from the flank. It's not really going to do too much, but the time is an issue. 15 seconds now for the side of G2 to try and make their way in towards the site. Up above, it seemed like Jing may not have been paying attention, didn't hear the sounds, and even though it comes super late in the round, they're going to get that plant.
This is not a comfortable anti-eco, but they've managed to make it work. 3 versus 1. Forsaken known to be behind. He threw out a dart a moment ago. Had his Hunter's Fury. Nice shot to start it, but...
Squirrel wheel. I think G2 have done well to adapt. Take a lot of early map control. You can even see it now. Throwing early flashes. They want to try and make sure that there's no angle that something could just be sat on with an operator. And well, for now, he's back on the rifle. And again, it seems like every time we have the early aggression from PRX, they're a little bit unlucky because they're always on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, they've pushed up on B this time, ready for any aggression out of G2, but players are going to be spotted outside of A. Maybe just the one scene now. It's not a ton of information to work with. They're conscious of the flank that's been coming through relatively consistently. And the push up now on B. Well, the wall actually slows them down. That utility from Valen has bought them a few valuable seconds. It's got the rotations off of A as well. A is wide open, barring a little bit of Killjoy utility. And now that they think there could be a play towards the B side, Devi toyed with the idea of pushing mid. Luckily he didn't, because Jonah P was waiting as always.
But also it would have taken as a alarm bot down if we went too far. So at least they'll get that extra little piece of information. Now have the players in at the right time. Something though, again, it seemed like he was caught off guard, maybe waiting for a slightly later push off the back of the Reckoning instead. Another easy post plant. And Jonah P's just waiting, watching, knows that right now the flank is clear, even has support from Trent. It's going to be a very one-dimensional retake from PRX.
He's heard the steps, but he knows that turret's still online. That's going to be a problem. Has to break it and give it away, but in comes the Hunter's Fury, taking down Forsaken. Devi falls too. They eventually deal with the flank they knew was coming, but there's still so many more to drop. There's Jing on the Icy. A chance now. Life breathed back into the side of PRX. But look, right down below, a sneaky spot from Leaf that gets his third of the round. That may well be the final nail in the coffin of this. With Jing left alive, time ticking away, and he just has to save that weapon, run for the hills, and concede a
round. One away from a lockdown, something I'm sure they're going to want to try and get online. In fact, already challenging early for the orb, but I was going to say it's gone all right until the extra swing in. Valen again.
Doesn't need the orb either, does he? Leaf's got his ult online from that pick. Yeah, that looked really good. The staggering utility from G2 pushed PRX back. They decided to stick around in the choke point, which is often a mistake, but they won the fight despite the util being thrown their way. But now the fact that Leaf got that pick, has the ultimate to work with, it's going to buy so much time. And then you've got to root these players out of position. Trent still has a shock dart to work with. I believe there's a nano on the spike alongside an alarm bot. This is going to be a very difficult round, as it has been for PRX in all of these retakes. This one feels that little bit more stacked against them. Shock dart, the one to find the kill, and Device looking the wrong way into heavy traffic. 8-4.
Map, you're looking at, as I said, I think 10-2 attack halves versus the likes of DFM, even DRX, the prior time to last. And a lot of this comes off the back, well, the two players we've just witnessed, Jing and Forsaken. Jing and Something. A terrifying duo on the entry. But just look at already the aggressive stance that has been taken by G2 in mid.
Yeah, they're looking for the triple push off the back of the contact from Trent. And they're even hearing some of the steps that went around towards A main. Some information there. We'll see how quickly they get on that flank. The retake setup, though, certainly in play. You can see Leaf is just backing off, conceding this space. And in fact, the flank abandoned after breaking the turret. Now look to play this as a more conventional retake. Wall buys a little bit of time, and the plant should be in. Shock dart, though, for damage.
They have so much plant denial a lot of the time on the side of G2, but now it's going to be utilized for the retake. One man still hidden in the corner, and he strikes. Mind Freak with a couple. Jing steps up with another, and in fact, he gets two himself. But it's left onto Trent. You wouldn't want anyone else in a clutch, and although he's low, he's almost taken him down. The shock dart may even kill off Jing, but it doesn't matter. Get themselves back into the map, and it looks like the defensive side are almost trying to sell confusion here. They've got the Viper screen combining with the Harbor Wall. The thing is, it seems like PRX, similarly to the last round, are just happy to play around their opponent's utility, like almost use it to their advantage. It's whether or not they can abuse the gaps more than their opponents can.
I mean, they've taken a big gamble. The turret is watching the back, but they're committing 5 players after making all this noise. The stack up is there from G2, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're being shredded on the site. With one man behind that wall, soon to fall. It's Icy down, and Leaf to do it all. Let's see if he can find a 1v5 with a classic. No. What a surprise.
Now, though, it's an important round for G2, because they lose this bonus, and it's a strong bonus. They're right back in the game. He's just full sprint. He's just okay, this W gaming. How could I forget?
Yeah, well, in case you needed a reminder, there it is. Man's lost his shift key. We'll see if he finds it soon. Running back down the tube. He's been hurt. Leaf has a vague idea. But look at the commitment from G2 to re-clearing out in kitchen. Player right down below him. And, well, I mean, Something is just playing an unhinged style here. He gets shot in the back, but it's just a tickle. And that actually spurs him forward to look for another fight. Jonah P. all around B while the A side's taken.
They're so focused on him. They're so focused looking at him that in the meantime, they've just walked into the site and planted the spike. Like, you can't blame them. When a guy is running around like a lunatic, you go, okay, I should keep an eye on him. And you need to still keep an eye on him. There was a pixel there that maybe he could find something. Even spawning players around mid. They should know that he's still here. But it seems like they're just relying on this wall, the turret. Is he going to get past it? He is. He's past the turret. And now just going in behind them. Only the one so far, but they have to deal with this man. The whole round has been about dealing with Something.
They haven't even seen anyone else. Getting towards the spike, sure, but the guy's still behind them, spraying away. Now the fight up in front. Okay, Something falls, so too does Divide, but Spike not even half just yet. The sprays are good. Mind Freak gets another and a triple to close it out. All on
one guy. And of course you are. It's the solo Jet running down mid. Well, you're not going to expect him to be alone.
I haven't seen someone play like that in a long time outside of ranked. Hello, early fight. Valent's not going to get anything, but Divide goes down. Early flank underway. Turret's much more passive, so Leaf will get pretty close. Not close enough to actually take anyone down. He could. Oh, of course. Divide's the one that fell right away. So yeah, he's able to make it all the way up, making it into heaven, grabbing himself a weapon, and now a serious danger down below. He's got something. The res is right above. It's free for Leaf. More already. A phenomenal round, and he's looking for more. Mind Freak has to do it again. This time a 4K against pistols, but he's 30 HP.
Oh, we talk about forgetting about something. I think they forgot the turret was down. He got so much space. Mind Freak might get an isolated 1v1, but now the Sheriffs, well, we normally talk about hitting a headshot. They definitely don't need that. Body shot will do the job. He's trying to sell the idea that he's pushing into the A site, but that idea has not been sold whatsoever. And while Jonah P's going to hit the head.
Same can be said for PRX here on the attack, though. This is where everything's going to be decided, 9-7. The gap either going to close or be extended massively by G2 here. Credits down to the last for PRX.
Yeah, it's done a lot of damage. The only thing that's going to pad the gap is the Viper's pit. By having a stinger in a pit, absolutely fine. But they need to get into the after plant. Look how quick G2 are already moving around that flank. They're in the spawn already. But by the time they get there, the post plant will be set. This time, turret should be available to give them the information. In fact, Forsaken is already watching, but he has Hunter's Fury. Oh, it's actually got past him, but the flash checks him anyway.
Reckoning going to clear a lot of space here as well. Give away that information. They know exactly where something is. He's stunned up, gunned up. Leaf able for one. Keeping it competitive. G2, 3 versus 2. Having to fight through the pit, though, could be the advantage they need. In goes the Thrash, and Mind Freak can't quite dodge it. They know exactly where he is. The pressure is on Jing. He has to cover this man to keep the pit online, to keep the chances there for PRX, and he'll get nothing. Bar the one. G2 now double digits on the board. Pit invested for
Put them into a great position. Still though, Blade Storm, something, mentioned it in the first half. We know what this guy can do with it. Already going to take a lot of early space. They also have the Hunter's Fury as well, so if this can get into the late round, it could get dangerous, but that lockdown's available for the other side.
PRX are so fast. Usually that drone will slow you down a bit, but they just sprint straight at it, taking control over the site, and that gets the lockdown into play. Shock darts to harass the planter, and they're back out of there. Flank was attempted for a moment. G2, though, seemed to have fallen back. Maybe assuming that the lockdown's going to send them in the other direction, but they might not know PRX. This is a team that isn't keen to give up on the A game. Still looking for, well, the A side.
Yeah, now that flank starts to adjust again. Clearing in middle, getting all the information. The plant is going to be enabled, and something is desperately looking for someone to give them a fight, because the weaponry's such a huge disadvantage for the rest of the team. Divide at least has a gun, but everything else is going to be those stingers. He just wants to try and get something out of it revealed, but does have support.
Well, that flash sends all the support backwards. Jing's caught, still blinded up. Hunter's Fury goes through, though. Forsaken able to trade out onto Icy. That gets the push out of Divide. Back and forth the kills go, but it's still G2 with the advantage. If they catch Mind Freak for free, it could be something, but he's fragging out, lighting Leaf down. The defuse already halfway. He's sticking it all the way, and Forsaken had to fight. Fallon on a sliver of health gets it across.
Come on, immediately. I'm going to see that Viper's pit. Try and funnel them in a different direction. Drone yet to be put into play for Forsaken. It also has the dart, so they could opt to try and fight him, but there's always a massive gamble, especially with the position that Jonah P is playing.
I also love the super deep alarm bot that they put in. The shock darts went through to try and deny that utility, assuming that you would be playing that little bit more passive. That it'd be around the choke point, but instead it's further up, just covering Jonah P's left side, if you think about it that way, and he can cover the right. A really nice setup. It's going to leave him in a very favorable fight either way, and if someone touches the alarm bot, Nano goes up, and Jonah can just fall back a little bit and play more passive.
Feels like they're doing exactly what G2 want them to do.
Yeah.
They're fighting for mid control just to make sure they can't split back towards the B site. You got the Hunter's Fury for an attempted plant denial, or to even clear something out on the retake. PRX are doing what they want, but it's whether or not, as always, this team can make it work anyway. It's going to be something looking for those aggressive fights, but I feel like G2 haven't given any of them away. They've been so good at making sure that doesn't happen, and already there's the man advantage.
almost extended on. That shot just swinging
Flank
through
as
players,
well.
but with Mind Freak down, yeah. Flank is now wide open. PRX don't have any ground to fall back to. They have to fight forward. That's exactly what they're going to try to do. Something in Forsaken, the sprays just avoided. Then G2 go on the push. Forsaken good for one, but Device fallen. The trades are there. Forsaken keeping it alive on the site, but he can't do much from that corner. And the spray, close as it was to a collat, it won't get it done. 12 rounds on the board for G2. 5 chances to close this one out. Lotus up next.
For G2, and they haven't, other than the one with the Classic, they haven't had too many problems. There we go, though. The battle for B. I think the expectation was after the A hits, it's going to eventually fall back in this direction. Valen is in a great spot, if not cleared. He's not been cleared. It's a bit of a mistake, and now he gets to just pounce on the remaining players. Even still, PRX are keeping this one close, and the Res actually puts it in their favor.
Yeah, I like the Valen's just falling back, giving up that space. He'll use his wall to hopefully slow them down. Time won't be bought for the flank. Leaf still alive. Device still alive, pardon. You got the turret up. Leaf wants to flank, but he'll be giving away that information soon. Lockdown in play, gets them the space on the site. Advantage there, damage done to Valen. This seems to certainly be a favored round for PRX, perhaps the start of the comeback. Shock Dart's good for some damage. A few of these players now lit up.
Ooh, okay, one for Leaf, but again, no chance with the trade. Jin gonna heal himself back up, and leaves just a couple standing. Valen trying to bait them in, but they've put him into a tunnel, and it is a solid round. Forsaken
Towards him. We'll see if that Outlaw can have the impact. We hear the shots fire, but they don't find their mark.
Nope, not going to be anything. And it's the same again.
Whoa.
Okay, nice shot. Someone's been doing their aim training, that's for sure. And even
Oh,
the
no.
trade's not looking good. Oh, not like this. This would be the worst way to let a map slip away. In fact, it's even...
What?
It's
It's a
just,
misclick.
Is he just fat-fingered
He's misclicked it. He meant to drone.
Oh, that's just...
Oh,
it's
they've
gone
not seen
horrifically.
that
But Mind Freak just comes out with 3 in a second. This round was looking like it was falling apart, but maybe in the most uncharacteristic way, they might take it anyway. Flank coming in. That's the major danger. And now it's left all onto Jing. It's not been a great round. And now he's under real pressure. The spike is going to take some serious damage. And he's, well, I think he's just got lost in the sauce. Leaf is going to be there to close out the round. Around the PRX are definitely going to want to forget.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hard one to forget, though. We'll be talking about that for a while. And MasterCard Thrifty closing out the map 13-8. And G2, they look very strong. That was PRX's map.